That's the hardest half marathon I think I've ever done. Saturday we ran the Run One More half marathon. It was part of the Run One More marathon and half marathon day. And if you've heard of Nick Bear, that is his big marathon where he finally went sub 3. And Caitlin and I were very honored and privileged to be invited to participate, and very grateful to be able to get out there and run one more and try to chase down our PRs.
On the way there, we ate our overnight oats, which were delicious. We went in, did our temperature check, signed our COVID release, got our swag bag, our goodies, our bib, you know, the typical race morning routine.
We arrived at the race start. I think we were the first runners there, got prime parking on the side of the road, got out of the car and tried to do a little dynamic stretching, warm up, do some strides. After we did our stretching and strides, it was time to head to the start line for the anthem.
By the dawn's early light.
There we were, just ready for the race to begin.
Runner set.
Prior to starting, Tiff and I had already talked about what our first mile pace was going to be and how we would progress throughout the 13.1 miles. And so that first mile came and we were right on target with what we had set out to do. Then about mile 4, mile 5, the wind really picked up and it became in your face.
The wind was blowing about 20 miles an hour, gusting to 35, almost 40 miles an hour, especially at the top of some of the hills. And so all of the time that we banked in the early part of the run pretty much went away very quickly in the next 2 or 3 miles.
It certainly wasn't the weather conditions we were hoping for, by no means. And even at the turnaround, you know, there was about a mile of run with some really nice tailwinds, and my pace dropped to about 8:08, which was really nice, but it didn't last long. And unfortunately, I think I had already spent too much energy that first half of the half marathon.
There was just so much energy that was burned running through that wind. Even though I was trying not to fight it, it was really hard to overcome.
Mile 11, Natasha came towards me, and as she passed me, she had said that, you know, you got 2 more miles, you know, make it the best 2 miles you can.
My legs were just done. My mind really started battling me and giving in to the pain that my legs were feeling. And the rolling nature of the course with some hills and the wind, it just all seemed like the wheels just came off for me.
It was not just a hard race for me, it was a hard race for everybody out there.
We got to mile 8 and she kept extending her lead, got to mile 9 and she was even further. And at mile 10, I could barely see her and I'm like, go get it, girl, because I knew she was chasing that PR. I knew it was going to be close for her. She looked so good, and you know, I could only hope that she wasn't hurting as bad as I was, and I was really hoping definitely she wouldn't slow her pace for me, that she would just put her head down and get to that finish line and celebrate her accomplishment that she worked so hard to earn.
I crossed the finish line in a PR time. You know, PR is always amazing, but I did not hit my goal.
I just wasn't able to bounce back, which, you know, I think that's my internal struggle right now, is that I've always been able to rise, but this was one race that I just didn't get there. And I know it was a tough race and tough conditions, but I still want, when I have a bad race, I still want to be faster than what I was. I want my bad day to be 1:45, but I know I'm a long way off, and this run kind of humbled me, I think. I want to be a better runner.
Unfortunately, we were each fighting our own fights separately, but I was there for her when she crossed the line, and glad that that 13.1, as brutal as it was, is past us now, and we're gonna continue on doing what we do.
You look strong though.
No.
You look, I mean, coming through you did. Sorry.
It's not the day I wanted, but I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't. 'Cause, I mean, I know we've run some hard shit before, but that's the hardest half marathon I think I've ever done. I'm not satisfied.
I know.
Goal A was get to the start. Goal B was get to the finish. Anything that happened in between was bonus.